Imagine a world where everything you perceive isn't exactly what it seems. This is not a plot of some science fiction novel, but a fundamental question that has challenged thinkers across the centuries. What if our reality is not a tangible, unchanging entity, but rather a construct of our perception? The philosopher Plato proposed the idea of reality as an illusion in his allegory of the cave. He likened us to prisoners chained inside a cave, seeing only shadows on the wall. In our ignorance, we mistake these shadows for reality. But what if we could leave the cave and see the world as it truly is? In the realm of science, quantum physics offers a similar perspective. Particles can exist in multiple states at once, only settling into a single state when observed. This phenomenon, known as superposition, suggests that our observation, our perception, actually shapes the reality of the particle. Then we have the concept of qualia, the subjective experiences that we each have. The color red that you see might not be the same red that I see. Yet we both agree it's red because we've been taught to associate that word with our individual experiences of the color. This suggests that our shared reality is based on consensus rather than an objective truth. Even our brains play tricks on us. In cognitive psychology, there's a phenomenon known as change blindness. It's when a change in a visual stimulus goes unnoticed by the observer. This reveals that our perception is not a perfect reflection of the world, but a construction of our brain based on what it deems important. So we find ourselves in a paradox. On one hand, we have the world as it exists independent of us. On the other hand, we have the world as we perceive it. And these two worlds may not be the same. What if I told you that the world you know is just the tip of the iceberg? Are we merely scratching the surface of a deeper, more complex reality? Is what we see, feel, hear, taste, and smell all there is? Or is there more to reality than meets the eye? Our senses deceive us, painting a picture of reality that may not be entirely accurate. Now you might be wondering, how can our senses, the very tools we use to navigate this world, fool us? To understand this, we need to delve into the realm of optical illusions. Take the classic example of the Rubens vase illusion. What do you see? A vase or two faces? Well, both are correct. This simple illusion perfectly demonstrates how our perception can shift based on how we interpret visual information. But let's go a step further. Consider virtual reality. Here, a completely artificial environment is created, yet our senses are so convinced by it that we can feel genuine fear when faced with a virtual precipice, or feel a sense of awe when exploring a virtual landscape. It's an intriguing testament to how easily our senses can be manipulated, creating a perceived reality that is entirely fabricated. Now, what about our brain? It's our command center, interpreting the data our senses feed it. But it's not a passive receiver. It actively constructs our reality. It fills in gaps, makes assumptions, and even alters our memories. Ever walked into a room and forgotten why you're there? That's your brain playing tricks on you. Or noticed how time seems to fly when you're having fun, but drags when you're bored? Again, that's your brain's perception of time, not an objective reality. Even our emotions play a part in shaping our reality. Ever noticed how a rainy day can seem gloomy when you're sad, but cozy when you're content? Our emotional state can tint our perception, altering our reality. So, we see that our senses, our brain, our emotions, all play a part in constructing our reality. But the question remains, if our perception can be so easily tricked, what is real? And how do we know what's real and what's not? So it seems our reality might just be a complex illusion. If our perceived reality is an illusion, what does the true reality look like? Now that's a question that could keep you up at night, isn't it? Let's delve into the realm of quantum physics and philosophy, where alternative views of reality are not just entertained, but seriously considered. Have you ever heard of the multiverse theory? It's the idea that our universe is not alone, but one of an infinite number of universes, each with its own laws of physics, its own history, its own version of reality. It's like tuning your radio to a different station, each station playing out a different song, a different story, a different version of reality. But how do we reconcile this with our everyday experience? Here's where the role of consciousness comes in. Some quantum physicists and philosophers argue that our consciousness, our mind, has a significant role in shaping the reality we perceive. It's not just a passive observer, but an active participant. It's like the director of a movie, choosing which scenes to include, which characters to focus on, which version of the story to tell. Think about it. When you dream, you create a world in your mind, complete with sights, sounds, even emotions. In that dream, you are the creator and the observer, the director and the actor. Could our waking reality be a similar kind of dream, a creation of our conscious and unconscious mind? This is not to say that reality is all in your head. There's a world out there, independent of our minds. But the reality we perceive, the reality we live in, is shaped by our minds, by our consciousness. And here's the kicker. If our minds can shape our reality, could there be other minds, other consciousnesses, shaping other realities? Could we be part of a cosmic mind, a universal consciousness, shaping not just our universe, but the entire multiverse? Could it be that we are mere spectators in a multiverse, experiencing only a fraction of the true reality? Maybe, just maybe, the world is not what it seems. But don't panic. This new perspective can be empowering. What if we looked at perception as a tool rather than a limitation? By understanding that our reality is shaped by our perceptions, we open the door to personal growth and a broader view of the world. An understanding that reality isn't fixed, but rather flexible and malleable, can be a powerful realization. Consider this. Our perception can be like a painter's palette. Each color represents a different viewpoint, a different lens through which we can perceive the world. As we gain new experiences and knowledge, we add new colors to our palette, expanding our ability to perceive and understand the world around us. With this power, we can create our own masterpiece, shaping our reality with the colors of our perception. It's all about perspective, about seeing beyond the surface and recognizing the potential that lies within our grasp. So next time when you look at the world, remember, it's not just what you see, but how you see it. In the end, the reality is a mystery that continues to baffle the greatest minds. We've danced through the illusion of reality, navigated the matrix of perception, and unveiled the hidden layers beneath. Yet the world remains an enigma, a complex puzzle woven by our senses and cognition. Our perception, a powerful tool, paints only a fraction of the grand tapestry that is reality. So keep questioning, keep exploring, because the world is not what it seems. It's a whole lot more.